Do you live here?
Well, if I live anywhere, it's nowhere, and this is the place I spend a lot of my time, and I can't deny that I sometimes pass out when I'm in here.
You're homeless now, yes?
I am homeless, yes.
Why are you homeless?
That's a tough one.
Are you working now?
I'm not working now, no.
Why not?
I'm trying to salvage what I have of the workshop project that just got canceled, and take that stuff and hopefully try to get some value out of it and sell some of it over the winter. And until then, I'm just trying to get a few of the bases covered to get myself to be stable again. My ID, which I've lost, which I haven't had for a year and a half at least. My Ontario Works welfare, I haven't managed to get it up and going again since I had it in Ottawa, and then I moved back here.
Why can't you get welfare?
I could, I just have to go do it, and I've got other things. I've got things that I'm not managing to get finished, like clearing this place out.
Don't you think it's more important to get Ontario Works?
It's hard to focus. I've always had that problem.
You have problem of focusing.
Yeah.
Do you have a disability?
Possibly. I struggle to be a normal person in a normal life, and so I end up in strange places.
What is your plan?
I'd really like to be able to have a space where I can have workshop-like capabilities, because I'm a tinkerer. I like to, fix things up and get them working and have supplies and parts for other people too.
Why don't you start with that? Because they
Because
might.
of this.
Because of this.
When I'm finished just clearing it out a bit and making it a little better, then I'll be, for Monday morning, going to get the OWs.
They might have all kinds of programs for emergency situations. I don't know them, but they might,
I mean, I don't feel like I'm in an emergency. It's winter. That's difficult. But it's not like it's not like I'm ever out in the cold, freezing. And this is one of the reasons why I end up here. Because
yeah, but like this situation might end any moment.
Any moment, and it could happen without any notice.
It can, like any notice.
Just somebody comes by and boom, it's gone.
Yeah, and then what do you do?
Find something else.
Do you think that money is really an answer to your problem?
No.
Do you understand what comes first, what comes next, or do you have problem with it?
I have a problem focusing on fixing me, because I don't know how much I can be different than I am. I've tried focusing on the things that I need to do to fix my situation in the past, and I'm not good at it. Focusing, I don't know, why it's difficult. Same reason why it's been a few more weeks than it should have been, just clearing this place.
Yeah,
it's
even I could do it in half a day. I would just throw things out.
I could do it 2 in half a day if I did it.
So why don't you do it?
But sometimes when I start to work on things and start to clean up, I'll get distracted. You know what I did yesterday? I tried to clean up, and instead I fixed my lighter, and that took me about an hour and a half to make this work. And I learned a lot about fixing lighters, but that was not what I was supposed to be doing.
Do you really want stability?
I do. There are definitely things that I want. I think I'm unreasonable in the things that I need based on the place in my life that I have, because I don't have the space for a workshop. I shouldn't be taking this many things back and accumulating them.
But why are you thinking about stuff? Are you less important than these broken things?
No, I didn't manage my money well, and I had enough for first and last month's rent.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of it helping somebody else.
So when you get a next bunch of money, are you sure something like that would not happen again?
I'm gonna go right for the place to live because it's winter.
Have you looked at how much rooms cost?
And with Ontario Works, you can't afford 85% of rooms, at least, probably 95%. They're too expensive. The last year I was sick and I was living on the street because I was not getting better. I was having trouble getting services from the city. I would go to the places where you're supposed to go, and they would send me to another shelter, and they wouldn't tell me the right information. I would get there after dragging myself and all my stuff on my bike across the city, and they'd yell at me for not coming at the right time, and I struggled. I would sleep on a bench on City Hall, and people would burglarize my bag while I was passed out.
So number one is a room, not fixing the lighter, Dave.
It's hard to think about that.
Why?
It's difficult. It's stressful. it doesn't mean that I can tell myself that every moment.
Why don't you tell yourself that you deserve better? Which means
That's
at least a
hard.
room. Why not? Why don't you tell yourself you deserve at least a room?
Because people tell me otherwise. If I was landlord,
Yeah,
if I knew me,
he doesn't know you.
but if I knew the person I am, I wouldn't be a great bet, because I'm not stable. And sometimes I might be late on the rent. When things start to, like, turn against me like that, when I have difficulties, eventually I give up. I always say there's two kinds of motivation. There's inspiration and desperation. You either do something because you really want to do it because it's really exciting, or you do because you have to and there's no other choice and you better do it, otherwise it's going to be bad for you. I don't like being desperate. When I get desperation, eventually I just, whatever. I don't try.
If politician was listening to you, what would you say, like, for people like yourself? Like, what is really needed?
There's a whole lot of unused spaces in the city that people could just make their own living situation, but it's not allowed.
Like, what kind of people?
There's anybody who isn't able to, like, fit in to the mold, who isn't able to be a perfect citizen. But why can't I just go somewhere and make a little place for myself, some unused piece of land, or some place in some building that nobody uses the building, like here.
But
Yeah.
one could argue that this place is completely crazy to live in because it's very dirty.
This is better than outside on the cold street.
People would say, well, what if he will set up a fire to this place? Like, the guy is not stable.
Yeah.
So how can you prove to people that you can do something positive, actually?
Because before I came here, it was strewn with needles and parts, and it's already better than that. Trust me, it's better to have the people that are going nuts and that are having struggles with their life in a warm room than to have them out on the street and then trying to get into every building they can because they're just trying to find a stairwell that they can do their drugs and have a moment of sanity because they're already worked up and they're already struggling like crazy. And if they had somewhere simple like this, then they're not struggling as much. As far as mental health for someone like me, a lot of the time it's just trying to find systems that'll work for me, that'll help to supplement the things that I have trouble with, because I've never been very good at scheduling things, at having a budget. I'm sure there's ways I can do that, and I just need help integrating them. That's the real thing that I need help with, like finding a way to do the things everybody else does without any difficulty.
In Canada, you have so many organizations that are supposed to be helping homeless people. Like, we have CAMH. You wouldn't go there? Why
No.
not?
I've known people to be electroshocked there and to completely destroy their lives. I've known people to die there trying to escape because they've been committed. I don't trust the place like that. When I go to McDonald's in the middle of the night and I buy something, I can stay there for a few hours. That's where I can be during the nighttime. It's one of the few open places where they don't kick you out. Food at McDonald's, I consider it rent for being homeless. So I would say I spend probably about $300 or $400 a month at McDonald's.
So you're saying to me that McDonald's is more helpful than all this social work,
Yeah,
or W and
It's been
and
a
CAMH
better,
and
that's right. McDonald's has actually given me more ability to be homeless in the city than any of those services have been successful at doing. Yeah. And that's just giving me a spot to be during the nighttime that's not freezing or not wet and cold. What would help me to be stable to start would be, yes, some access to somewhere where I didn't have to make the money to live. Like, because if I can't be stable and then I don't have anywhere to live, that's just piling pain upon pain. Like, it does. Why can't I just have somewhere to go? Like, when I actually provide things like bike services or repairs, I don't want people to pay me. I just want it to be appreciated. And then when they have things that they can share with me that I need it, then it would be nice if they would, share them too. There's a lot of services I can provide. There's a lot of help I can do in almost any kind of work, to be honest, except for managing people and except for maybe managing myself. So I definitely would take some help on that. and this was really satisfying to fix.